My name is Brian Outlaw. But wait, you already knew that. Anyways, welcome to RCW, Ravage Championship Wrestling, where compelling storylines and the bullshit of WWE doesn't exist. Welcome to wrestling that you care about. Wrestling that you'll be entertained by. Wrestling without the bullshit. Well, Bossman's telling me to watch my language, so anyways, enjoy the show. And hey, don't look at my sisters the wrong way. Otherwise, you will get a guilty verdict too. Anyways, enjoy the show, grab a snack, grab your girl. Oh wait, I have her. I'm just kidding. Enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to another episode of Ravage Championship Wrestling, RCW, Season 7. So we are only a few episodes away from the RCW Recoil pay-per-view in New York City as we close out the qualifiers for both the men's lottery case and women's lottery case matches. So we have two more women that have yet to fill those spots, and then we have one more men's match to fill those spots, and those matches are Bayley versus Toni Storm. That's one of the matches, and that is the first match that we'll go over. And the men's match is Tommaso Ciampa and who else did I put there? Ciampa and... well, you'll find out. You'll find out. Sometimes I forget who I put. But you will find out. As we have Bayley versus Toni Storm to start off our show. But let me clear up a few things. So I completely forgot to upload the last episode of RCW. I had it edited and I completely forgot to upload it yesterday. Because I didn't stream yesterday, because that's one of my off days, and I just completely forgot about it. So that is uploaded now on the YouTube channel, but I still have to put it up on the website, so bear with me on that one. After the stream, I'll definitely do that. I will put it up on the website. So I just want to say a few things before we get going. I mentioned last stream that that I really appreciate you guys and for coming out and for watching the shows, even if it's like you watch the VOD on Twitch or you watch it on YouTube 24 hours after the actual stream. However you watch it, I appreciate the support nonetheless. You know, it's very weird right now because of the Twitch algorithm. I know that it's affected so many people. That it's affected so many people in terms of, you know, people that are trying to push for the partner, and so many other people in general. And people can get discouraged. Like, how it shows 5 viewers in your viewer count, but the number of users like in chat or the number of people that are like actually in don't match up with the number. Like, it's disappointing. I'm a person that doesn't focus on numbers at all, but I would say that this highly affects us all streamers because we're all trying to grow, and we all want to grow our channels, we all want to grow our brands, and we can't do that when there is an inaccurate representation of how many people are actually in our streams, watching them, attentively watching them, and chatting with us. So I feel bad for all those people that are affected by it. I myself haven't really noticed much, but there are some people that I know of that are highly affected by this, as well as Twitch cracking down on copyrighted music, which is why, I play there are some really good Spotify playlists that are really good non-copyrighted music. I try and do that for the sake of Twitch, because Twitch has been cracking down on that kind of thing. But I feel bad for those that are music streamers that are like drummers that drum to music, or people that play music, people that perform music. I really think that one of the things that needs to be changed is there's got to be a way that those types of content creators can buy a license to use the music, like kind of like there's like a non-commons license, which means the author or the person that created it gives you permission to use it. Because it's all about, as a musician myself, I was a former musician, and I understand, I completely understand when it comes to wanting to be paid for the work that you created, for wanting to be paid for somebody to having to use your music. And I feel like Spotify is one of those platforms that doesn't pay their artists enough money. In terms of like streaming, they only get like 1/10 of a cent for every play or something like that. Like, it's not a lot of money. And since a lot of people are going to streaming as part of, their daily entertainment, whether it be like Netflix or whatever, but especially in the music industry, like, it hurts the music industry a lot, but it also like helps the music industry too, so it's kind of a double-edged sword. And it's disappointing to see that artists don't get paid enough for their work. And I mean, you can have your opinions however you want them. These artists, they may be famous and they may have, money, but in my opinion, like, if you're working hard and you're trying to make money off of your work, whether it be, graphic design or, something that you are distributing to other people, when people use your work, or when people listen to your work or watch your work, it's this thing called royalties. There's got to be something that needs to be changed in the way that artists get paid, so that us streamers, the ones who do music and stuff like that, they don't get in trouble by getting their channels taken down, and the artists, they get paid too as well. And there's got to be something where both parties, like including the streamer and the artist, can both get paid, or both be protected or whatever, so that people don't have to worry about their channels getting taken down, or stuff happening with their content because of copyrighted material. YouTube is the same way too as well. So it's kind of, there's got to be some type of thing that they can do to change that, and I hope that that's something that comes in for a lot of people, and that we can come to a common ground and figure out a way where it benefits both the content creator and the artist of the music. But anyways, our first match today is Bayley versus Toni Storm, and now this is for, let me see here as I look at my paper here. This is for the 5th spot in the lottery case matchup. So there are 6 men and 6 women that'll be in these matchups, and the winner of said matchup will get a championship opportunity anytime, anywhere, for any championship that they want to go after. So, for the women, obviously, it's for the women's championship, and for the men, it can either be for the Carnage title or for the world title. So, for our first qualifying matchup to start off today, it'll be Bayley versus Toni Storm. So let's get to it, folks. Let's get to this right away. I turned the entrances off specifically because I wanted to avoid, crashes like we had last time, which was very unusual, because we had, we didn't have custom characters. So we have Bayley here and Toni Storm here in this match. Oh, what a reverse Rana by Bayley here. Happy belated birthday to Bayley, by the way. She turned 31 yesterday. The role model. Absolutely love Bayley. Huge fan of Bayley. It's Toni Storm now going out to the outside. Again, the countouts are a count out of 20 here for the matchups that we have here. Ooh, and a big slap to the face of Bayley. Now, Toni Storm looking for something here. Oh, but Bayley gets out of that predicament. Now throwing Toni Storm into the barricade there. But Toni coming back there with an elbow. And look who it is. Paige just went live. I'll have to get in there after stream today. I always enjoy watching the Queen. And no, not the Queen Charlotte Flair, the Queen Paige, because Paige is a straight up queen. As both ladies get back in the ring here, Bayley and Toni Storm here. Toni working on the arm of Bayley, but Bayley with a couple of shots to the midsection in a third one. Able to get out of that predicament, and a kick right to the side of the leg. Oh, but a kick to the midsection of Bayley here. Now the knees right to the midsection. I believe that was right to the midsection of Bayley, and now Bayley rolling out. Bayley, definitely a change of attitude, for sure. She says that she doesn't need the fans anymore. She has outgrown them. Outgrown the ones that have told her what to be. Is Toni Storm getting back in the ring at a count of 4 here. Now Bayley with a German suplex to Toni Storm. Now we have Ember Moon and Rhea Ripley and Ruby Riott as the women that have qualified ahead of these two ladies here. Oh, and a huge punch to Toni Storm there. And I apologize for being an hour late here. I was trying to fiddle around with my Elgato. For some reason, my Elgato did not want to detect itself in OBS, but when I tried to open up the game capture software, like the original game capture software, it was fine. And a monkey flip there, so OBS was causing some issues. And an elbow right to the chest of Toni Storm there. It is definitely not Toni time anymore. And a Bayley to belly suplex there. Signature Bayley to belly suplex from Bayley, and a kick out at 1. Now Bayley possibly looking for that rose plant finisher there. I don't know why she hasn't hit it on WWE TV, but nonetheless. But Toni Storm with the reversal, reversing the rose plant driver there. That was a move that Bayley used on the indie scene, and a rope break there as Bayley tried to get the pin here over Toni Storm. Front face lock, elbow right to the back of the neck of Toni. Both ladies moving backwards now. And now Bayley looks like she's having her way with the Storm of Toni here, but Toni with a reversal into the corner. But for some reason, she allows Bayley to get out of the corner, though. I don't know why. That's not very smart on Tony's part there. And Bayley again with a couple of punches to the midsection. She's been going after that quite a bit. And now Toni Storm just launching Bayley, grabbing the leg of Bayley, and then using that momentum to launch Bayley across the ring here. Now Bayley's in some trouble here. Is Toni throwing Bayley to the outside now? Oh, it's looking to be Toni time as a drop kick right through the middle rope. It's Toni time. But Bayley's having none of it as she goes back into the ring after that kick to the hamstring there. Standing switch there by Bayley. Now looking to turn Toni Storm around. Rose plant there, right to Toni Storm. Rose plant face driver there from Bayley. But Toni Storm gets the kick out. Toni Storm with the kick out, and now Bayley. Bayley now the role model. Not too happy. Not too happy as a Hurricane Rana there to Toni Storm, and another elbow. Another elbow from the role model Bayley, and Bayley going up top. Maybe looking for that elbow drop from the top, but Bayley with a splash. Oh, double knees there. She's met with double knees to the midsection as Toni Storm with a drop kick sends Bayley, forcing Bayley to go to the apron now. She doesn't have her buddy Sasha Banks out here, and a drop kick to the outside is Toni Storm. Toni Storm looking to get the win here over the role model. But Toni Storm going for the cover now. Referee taking a little bit of time, and that allows Bayley just enough time to kick out there. But Toni Storm, she cannot stop. She's got to keep going here. Ooh, kick to the midsection of Toni Storm, and another punch. What another right hand there from Bayley. Now Bayley again going for the cover. Shoulders down here. 2 and a kick out at 2. Another elbow drop right to Toni Storm. Seems that Bayley has got this under control here. Bayley looking for the Bayley to belly, but Toni Storm looking for the clothesline. Toni Storm got out of the Bayley to belly, but Bayley able to duck the clothesline. This has been all Bayley as of late, but Toni Storm with a chop in the corner. Another chop to Bayley. And now Toni Storm looking to do something big here. She's got Bayley on the top rope. Got the role model on the top rope, and a superplex from the top rope goes Bayley. But Bayley gets right back up from that. And Bayley, right now, is on fire here as Bayley with an elbow right in the corner. Oh, but that didn't really do anything there. To Toni there. That didn't really daze her too much. But Bayley catching Toni Storm off guard with a rose plant. The rose plant off guard gets Toni Storm off guard here, and oh, a kick out at 2. Bayley is pissed off right now. Staring at the referee, but she cannot let her anger get the best of her here. She's got to keep going. She has this match right where she wants it, and getting angry is not going to help her in any type of situation here. especially knowing that this is for a shot at the women's lottery case. Now, Bayley has had huge luck there in that other company, being the Money in the Bank winner of 2019, cashing it in on Charlotte. But that's totally different here in RCW. You know, if Bayley wins, she could do the same thing and cash it on the same night against Luna or Sky, whoever becomes champion. She's doing a little bit of talking to the referee there. Doing a little bit of talking to the referee. Oh, again. Toni Storm is just waiting for her to get done. A little bit of a distraction there. Toni Storm taking advantage of it. Bayley saying, no, not today. Toni Storm saying the same thing, pushing Bayley away. Catching the foot again of Toni. Trying for a suplex, perhaps, but oh, Toni Storm got out of that. Toni Storm got out of that in a front face lock and an elbow right to the back of the neck of Bayley. Now looking for the armbar here, looking to tear the shoulder out of the socket. Bayley has had shoulder issues in the past. She's had many shoulder injuries in the past there. So good eye on Toni Storm going right after that. But, oh, she's met with a Bayley to belly suplex. 1, 2, and Toni Storm with a kick out of 2. Toni Storm with a kick out of 2. Again, there's a steel chair right there. I'm not too sure what Bayley was looking to do with that, but she's looking for the Rose Plant. She's looking for the Rose Plant face driver there. Looking for the Rose Plant. Oh, but a kick to the midsection. Toni got out of the way of that one with a clothesline. 1, 2, and Bayley with a kick out of 2. Bayley is still in this still. Toni Storm with the uppercut to Bayley. Toni Storm head scissor. Head scissor takedown from Toni Storm there to the role model Bayley. Now possibly using that chair against her there. Tried for possibly Storm Zero, but couldn't get it. Bayley to belly. Another Bayley to belly there, and now going right to the Rose Plant driver. Rose Plant almost on the chair. 1, 2, 3, and Bayley goes to the women's lottery case matchup. Bayley. My God, Bayley, the role model, moves on to the women's lottery case matchup. Now that is 5. We still have one more woman there. We still have one more to go. As Bayley knows what's at stake for that match, and that match will culminate at RCW Recoil in New York City at the Garden, Madison Square Garden, MSG, one of the greatest arenas in the entire world, as we move on to our next match as we go over to the break screen. I completely forgot to turn it down, did I? I apologize for that. I had to re-edit it. Now it should be good now. Alright. let's go on to our next match here. I apologize for the audio of the Elgato there in the last match. I completely forgot. I had to, with the issues that I was having with the Elgato, I had to go ahead and re-add it. Now, this next matchup here is not a men's qualifying matchup. This is just a regular RCW matchup, and it is Brian Outlaw versus Miles Anderson. Now, Brian Outlaw is the RCW World Champion as of now, and he will be defending it at the RCW Recoil pay-per-view. I don't know who against, though. We haven't determined that yet. But he has to know this. With the men's lottery case match coming back, there could be somebody that is out to get him. As we get this underway here. Again, I apologize for the audio in the first match, but I went ahead and I fixed it. So it should be all good now. And a headbutt there to Miles Anderson, the ghost Miles Anderson. Now, since his return, he hasn't had the best of luck here in matches. But he is an RCW World Champion, however. Former RCW World Champion, that is. And now these two, Miles and Brian, have quite the history. These two meeting up together in the MWE before RCW in Manhattan. Now these two may have a chance to meet in Manhattan again at RCW Recoil. So who knows? Anything can happen on RCW. All the results matter in RCW, so you know, I like every match of RCW to mean something. As Brian with the spine buster to his friend Miles here into a cover and only a count of 1. Oh, but Miles taking over. Miles now lifting up the champ here on the top rope here. Very early on in this matchup, though, I must say. What's Miles going for here? Possibly a superplex from the top rope. Sends the champion down. Miles Anderson gets up right away into the cover. 1. No, Brian Outlaw with the kick out. Still very early on in this match. Miles trying to get the head scissor elbows. Brian slithers his way out of that one. Oh, but Miles quickly turns it into an armbar here. But Brian gets out of the armbar as his submission training comes in handy there. Ooh, and a huge slap to the face. Disrespect there. What's up, Vertical? Please tell me I got your name right. I hope I did. I have this very bad thing of butchering names. I do it all the time, even to my creative wrestlers. I mix people up. All right, just making sure. As Brian Outlaw works on the back here of Miles. Again, this is not a men's lottery case qualifying matchup. This is just a regular RCW matchup. It's a guilty verdict here on Miles Anderson, but a rope break. Saving his friend Miles. Now these two, like I said, know each other very well. Wrestled together in the MWE, Manhattan Wrestling Entertainment, which is a series that I did a while back in live streaming. It was a series that I did a while back, and That is on my YouTube channel, both seasons 1 and 2 of that series. If you enter the command YT, you can gain access to it. It's also down in my panels too. I also have a podcast called The Angle Podcast with my co-host Sakite, who is also a huge wrestling fan. How do I have one viewer? You're a great commentator. Well, thank you. I greatly appreciate it. You know, I try, and my advice to anybody is I always try to add, like, in terms of streaming, just try and have fun with it, you know? That's what I try and do, is I have fun with it, and I'm a part of a streamer community known as Avenger Friends, which is a group of people that help streamers grow. Like, if somebody in our community needs to get affiliate on Twitch, or if somebody's trying to push for partner, they select people that they deem to be worthy of that and be worthy of a partner push. And basically they all have a Discord, and we all want our channels to grow. I think there's like 1,000 or some people in the community that I'm a part of, and I love it, because I didn't start it, by the way. I didn't start it. It was a community that was suggested to me by a couple of the friends that I've made on Twitch, and we all just want to you know, have fun as streamers, and just, you know, create a amazing community for everyone, and you know, that's kind of the goal, you know, because the internet nowadays can be a very, very toxic place, and just not be a fun place sometimes, because, you know, people are idiots, and, you know, people like to say things to people and be jerks to people. And, you know, my ultimate goal here on the channel is to bring wrestling fun. I've been doing this show that you see right now for about 2 years now. We have a website now. If you enter the command web, ! Web, you'll gain access to that website. You know, it's a website that I co-own with my buddy Sakite, who is also a WWE streamer. And basically our goal as wrestling content creators, me and Sakite and a bunch of other people, is to get the WWE 2K fan base, and to get wrestling games in general just more publicity, in terms of, you know how Fortnite is a big thing, and which it is. You know, Fortnite, when it first came out, nobody really knew about it, or people knew about it, but nobody ever imagined it was going to turn into this big $1 billion thing for Epic Games. And then, you know, you got guys like Ninja and Myth and everybody that's streaming it, and it got popular. And you know, I'm not saying that WWE 2K is going to become Fortnite, you know, and have billions of people. I think it's going to be a relatively small, non-saturated game here on the Twitch universe and the streaming universe. But with that said, we like to take advantage of that, and with it not being as saturated, because think about it. Think about how many people are streaming Fortnite right now. You know, the chances of a small streamer like myself getting people to watch me play Fortnite are a gazillion to 1. You know, and plus I don't like Fortnite to begin with. But the point is we want to make something that is great, that is fun, that is just fun to watch. And I mean, you know, with the quarantine going on and everything happening, it's more than ever that people want something to watch and want something to entertain them. So, you know, that's what we try and do. And, you know, I write the storylines for myself. I spend hours and hours on end writing the storylines, and you know, doing promos, and perfecting my promo acting and my voice acting, because some of the things that I do as wrestling content wise is on my channel, on my YouTube channel anyway. I actually cut promos myself. I write them down, I script them, and sometimes I do it right off of the dome unscripted, and I cut them as Brian Outlaw, who's the character you're seeing here. And because I want to get into the wrestling industry, and basically my goal really is to use what I've used on Twitch in these past 2 or 3 years and counting, to get into the wrestling industry, possibly work for AEW or Impact. Those are my 2 dream promotions I'd love to work for. I've talked to some of the people who have worked there and who are working there, and I would love to work there. I'm in college basically to get a degree and go to wrestling school and get a degree in wrestling. So, or not get a degree in wrestling, but get the wrestling training and become a manager of another wrestler and to have fun. That's what I want to do. And if it weren't for this show, and if it weren't for people coming in and having fun and just being awesome people, my life would be totally different in terms of my college life and everything else going on. So I appreciate everyone that comes out to the shows and has fun, and I try to have awesome commentary and everything else in between. I've been lucky enough to meet guys like Mick Foley, and lucky enough to getting the chance to meet JR and Tony Schiavone, and guys that I've looked up to as a kid, as a young teenager. I met Jerry the King Lawler. I've met a ton of wrestlers. I've talked to a ton of wrestlers, and I'm the type of guy that makes an effort. If I really like somebody, if I really like somebody's music or an artist or a wrestler, I'll make an effort to try and talk to them. I don't expect to get anything back or anything like that, but if I do, then I do, and I greatly appreciate it. I've talked to many wrestlers over the years, and like Deonna Purrazzo is one of the 2. She used to work for WWE. Paige is one of the 2, or one of them. She actually streams on Twitch, so I've gotten the chance to speak to her a few times, and both on Twitter and Instagram a few times, and it's just fun, getting to tell your favorite entertainers how grateful you are for what they do. And I think in a fan base that is very toxic, being the wrestling fan base, that it's more important than ever to tell wrestlers that you love what they do, and to tell your favorite entertainers that you love every second of what they do. And I think it's a good thing to do. As Brian Outlaw may get the win here over Miles Anderson, and he does. So that's what I try and do here. I try the best of my ability to deliver amazing wrestling content, amazing storylines, compelling stories. I like to go the extra mile in everything that I do. And I'm not saying that anybody who doesn't everybody makes content in the way that they like content. I just like to go the extra mile. It's Finn Balor looking to attack Brian Outlaw, taking the celebration out of it with a Miranouku driver on Brian Outlaw here. And Finn Balor, he's already attacked Brian Outlaw once already. And it seems that we have an opponent here for Brian Outlaw, as Finn Balor wants a shot at that RCW World Championship. With Brian Outlaw fires back with a back elbow there, and a big boot to Finn Balor. And now the crowd just shuts up right after that. As Brian Outlaw, the champion here, looks to send a message here to Finn Balor, but a Pele kick to the champion. A Pele kick to the champion. And the champion is down here. And Finn Balor, talk about message received. As Finn Balor sends a message to the champion as we move on to our next match as quickly as possible as we go over to the break screen. As you see Luna Outlaw walking out there, that is my break screen that I like to use for in between matches so that people don't necessarily have to watch the loading screens. They can, have something for them to watch as we have our last women's lottery case qualifying matchup as we have Ariel versus Tessa Blanchard. Now, Ariel has had a couple run-ins with the Outlaws here, as Luna Outlaw is our RCW Women's Champion. So imagine if Ariel comes out with the victory here, she can find herself in that match. And God forbid if she's able to grab that briefcase and win it, she could easily cash in on Luna there at the end of the night. On the same night. So, all these champions here, they have to have eyes in the back of their head. You never know what's going to happen. So, let's see who will get the final spot. Will it be Ariel or Tessa Blanchard? Let's get this underway. I have all the entrances off to avoid stupid crashes. As we get this underway here with Ariel and Tessa Blanchard in a big boot there to Tessa Blanchard there. As an Irish whip to the apron and a drop kick right to the outside to Tessa Blanchard. As Ariel goes on the outside, she likes to utilize this to her advantage, but she knows that she has that count of 20. So in RCW, we like to have 20-minute Iron Man matches or Iron Women's matches and 20 countouts in terms of a 20 count for a countout. Because we've had matches end in the past in draws for Iron Man matches and Iron Women's matches, as well as matches that ended in countouts. And we never like to have that here. We always like to have a definitive winner. Sometimes we've restarted matches, like that one match with Ariel and Sky Outlaw, where it was a Ravage cage match, 5 minutes to escape the cage. That match had to be restarted 5 times because of a draw. And Sky ended up getting the win over Ariel in that match. It's Tessa Blanchard with the chop in the corner there to Ariel, and Ariel's down here as Tessa Blanchard lifts her up now. Tessa Blanchard looking to lock the legs up here of Ariel very early on though, but Ariel's able to get out of it and turn the tables on. She turned the tables on Tessa. Possibly trying to, injuring the knee there. As you saw that Tessa was holding the knee after turning her own submission against her. Oh, tried for an elbow, but wildly missed with that one. And now Ariel takes down Tessa right in the middle of the ring, right on that RCW logo. By the way, if you enter the Command store, you can gain access to RCW exclusive merch there. And if you buy one of those t-shirts, a portion of that money goes to me as well. And that money will then go to supporting this stream in terms of getting new equipment and a bunch of other things. And, you get some pretty badass t-shirts. Also, you get an alert on stream when you buy a t-shirt. So go ahead and if you want to buy one of the t-shirts, they go for about $15. $15 American dollars is a code blue knee strike there to Tessa Blanchard. Right away, 1, 2, and Tessa kicks out. Ariel with the code blue knee strike in the corner there. I thought Tessa was done after that. But it appears that she's not. Appears that just fired her up now as she's in the corner. And she takes out Ariel. Oh, what's this here? Turning it over. Oh, I thought it might have been a pin combination. It almost was there. If she let that go. Speaking of pins, she goes for one there, and not even a 1 count. As Ariel gets right back up. Ariel taking it to Tessa Blanchard here. Very rarely do I see Tessa Blanchard in this much trouble here. But it seems that Ariel's firing on all cylinders as she goes for the monkey flip in the corner. As you can hear, the crowd does not really like that very much. And a cutter! A cutter there from Tessa Blanchard. And now that knee drop right to the face of Ariel now. It's Tessa Blanchard. With this offense here, this resurgence of offense at the side Russian leg sweep there. What a resurgence we are seeing here from Tessa Blanchard. As Ariel had this match, it looked like it was easily won right after that code blue knee strike. But since then, Tessa, I guess a fire is just lit in her. Oh, and a chick kick right there to Ariel, right to the face of Ariel as she drags her by the arm there, and an elbow drop from Tessa Blanchard there. Driving the face of Ariel into the canvas there as Tessa Blanchard lifts her up now. This is methodical here, and a double axe handle right to the back of the neck of Ariel here. Now lifting her up again. Oh, what an elbow strike there. What a rolling elbow strike from Tessa Blanchard in a 1 count. Just a 1 count there as Tessa Blanchard has yet to hit really anything big. Here to Ariel in this match. Again, this is not just any match here. This is a women's lottery case matchup. This is for the final spot. Now, Tessa Blanchard has yet to have title opportunities here in RCW, but Ariel's already had one, and that was against Luna Outlaw at RCW Rebirth, and she came up short in that one, and a brain buster there. In a 2 count. Good thing I have water with me, because my voice gets tired after a while. All the screaming and shouting. Oh, and just tossing her with that suplex there. And now Ariel's looking to go for it again. The code blue knee strike. Charging in here, code blue knee strike again. Code blue to Tessa Blanchard. 1, 2, 3, and Ariel easily getting the win here over Tessa Blanchard. My God. That was an absolute mauling of Tessa Blanchard there. That is something I did not expect from the Diamond Standard Tessa Blanchard. But nonetheless, Ariel is the final woman in the spot in the Money in the Bank, or the lottery case matchup, excuse me. Could be called Money in the Bank because it technically is, but in the lottery case, the women's lottery case roster or card is complete. As Ariel gets the victory here as we move on to our next match. We'll go over to the break screen one more time. Again, I apologize for the audio issues in the beginning of that match. You probably can't hear me too well because the Elgato was too loud. And then I just... As we have AJ Styles, the #1 contender for Darby Allin's RCW Carnage Championship, going up against Matt Hardy. This is a dream match if I ever seen one here. But let's get this underway, folks. As we are now underway with this match. As AJ Styles starts off with the quick strikes, but Matt Hardy not allowing that quick start to happen. AJ Styles, these two men, veterans in professional wrestling. As Matt Hardy now looking to throw AJ Styles, but AJ Styles turns the tables on Matt Hardy. And AJ awaits. Matt Hardy, the multiple personalities of Matt Hardy, but Matt Hardy right there with a side Russian leg sweep to AJ Styles. Now Matt Hardy with the right hand, lifting up AJ Styles, possibly looking for a suplex here on AJ Styles. There it is, a suplex on AJ Styles. Goes for the cover, not even a 1 count yet. AJ and Matt Hardy both still have a lot left. Early on, oh, what a punch right to the face of AJ Styles. Has him up here. Oh, and back first into the turnbuckle and just throws him right to the middle of the ring there. Matt Hardy. The mind games that he likes to play with people. It's just uncanny. Sometimes you never know what Matt Hardy's going to do. Matt Hardy is a very strange individual, but you have to give him credit where credit is due. He might be a strange individual, but it always helps him out in the end somehow. And a brain buster there to Matt Hardy. 1, and just a count of 1 there. As both men have gone for quite some early covers here. Some may call them questionable. And another brain buster there to Matt Hardy. Oh, looking for a cutter is Matt Hardy, but oh, what an arm drag there from AJ Styles and a boot to the face. I don't know how much he got of that, but nonetheless, it worked. But Matt Hardy with a bulldog to AJ Styles, and that busted him wide open already into a cover 1. No, AJ able to kick out at 1 there. Able to get up right away too as well. Matt Hardy turning around. Oh, what an elbow from Matt Hardy. Side Russian leg sweep from Matt Hardy again. Taking AJ Styles down. This is exactly what Matt Hardy needs to do here to slow him down. Looking for side effect. AJ got out of that one there. Now another brain buster. He seems to be going after the head, trying to get Matt Hardy to be a little bit dazed. I don't know how well that's working out for him, but nonetheless, I like his way of thinking. Abdominal stretch there from Matt Hardy, but AJ Styles gets out of it fairly quickly. Possibly looking for a Styles clash early on here. Looking for a Styles clash early on Matt Hardy. Locks it in. Styles clash on Matt Hardy early on in this matchup. 1, 2, and Matt Hardy with the kick out. AJ Styles almost had Matt Hardy there. He caught him off guard. Oh, but Matt Hardy with a neck breaker. What a neck breaker. What a recovery from Matt Hardy. And Matt Hardy with the elbows, the head scissor elbows to the dome of AJ Styles. AJ's in a little bit of trouble now. But AJ finding a way out of that hold there. Finding a way out of that hold of Matt Hardy. Elbow right to the face. Looking for another brain buster again. Connecting with that brain buster. AJ keeps on going after that. Throughout this match, going up top here. Going up top. Splash! But Matt Hardy gets the knees up there. It's gotta hurt the midsection of AJ Styles. That knocks the wind right out of you. And you can't breathe for at least a few minutes there. Knocking the breath out of AJ Styles is Matt Hardy. And Matt Hardy now using the ropes. Oh my. Rope to the throat of AJ Styles. Now working on that arm. Very wise there as AJ likes to hit that phenomenal forearm from the apron. Into a cover now. Easy kick out there for AJ Styles. Snapmare takedown and a kick right to the back of Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy definitely has had a lot of those issues in the past. Severe back issues in the past. Kick to the midsection. Kick to the midsection there and a DDT. Tilt-a-whirl DDT there from the multifarious Matt Hardy. Now Matt Hardy now taking AJ Styles back into the ring. Lifts him up now. What's he going for? A side effect to AJ Styles. What a side effect to AJ Styles and Matt Hardy now. Just like that, Matt Hardy finds himself back in this match, but it's just a kick out at 1. Just like that, Matt Hardy finds himself back in this match. Oh, looking for a calf crusher, looking for a calf crusher. But I believe Matt Hardy's foot was on the ropes there. Snapmare takedown and another kick to the back. As AJ Styles looking to end this with one phenomenal forearm. One phenomenal forearm. Oh, and Matt Hardy moves out of the way. Matt Hardy moves out of the way looking for the twist of fate, but no twist of fate today. DDT to Matt Hardy. And these two right now going back and forth. Just when I thought AJ had this complete control over Matt Hardy here. Matt Hardy just comes out with a side effect, tries for the twist of fate, and AJ's back right in the driver's seat, spiral tap off of the top rope. 1, 2, 3, and AJ Styles, just like that, gets the win over Matt Hardy. I'm surprised he got it that quickly. But it may have been going after the back. Maybe Matt Hardy just didn't have that energy. Maybe he just didn't have that energy that he once had earlier on in this matchup. But it's definitely great momentum for AJ Styles as he looks ahead in his match against Darby Allin at the RCW Recoil pay-per-view. By the way, for those of you that are new here, we are just 4 episodes away from that. We have 20 episodes this season, with every 10th episode being a pay-per-view, so in all we have 2 pay-per-views. I like to keep it that way because that allows storylines to get built up and allows matches to just become more satisfying to watch and just more fun in general. As we get this going here, as we get going to our next match, as we go over to the break screen yet again. As we have our main event of the evening, we have Ricochet versus Tommaso Ciampa in the last men's lottery case matchup. So as it stands right now, to refresh your memory, we have Kevin Owens, Jeff Hardy, Scott Richards, Seth Rollins, and Samoa Joe in that match. So the last guy will either be Ricochet here or Tommaso Ciampa. Now Ricochet, if you don't remember, he had an opportunity at a title shot in that Battle Royal match, which he ended up getting eliminated from by AJ Styles. So this is his chance at redemption. Tommaso Ciampa, on the other hand, looks to put Keith Lee behind him after that extremely brutal rivalry that they had. And he looks to move on to greener pastures as he looks to win this match and qualify for the money for the men's lottery case. I keep calling it Money in the Bank because that's what I'm used to. Because it's been a while. It's been a while since we've done these. Season 2 was the first time we did them. So it's been about 5 seasons since we've done that. So, and we've had some really awesome storylines for them. So let's get this underway, folks. Ricochet and Tommaso Ciampa. And the referee gets us underway. Ricochet and Tommaso Ciampa, final spot in the men's lottery case matchup. It's Ciampa. Oh, Ciampa just running over Ricochet. Now, Ricochet is the underdog. Don't underestimate this kid's size, though. This guy is quick and absolutely insane. But Ciampa with that huge clothesline. It's Ciampa now with a snapmare takedown there and a kick right to the back of Ricochet. Now with a bad back, you can't hit the 630 senton, so it's very wise there. Oh, German suplex. He's still hanging on. Ciampa's still holding on. German suplex again. And looking for the trifecta. Another German suplex to Ricochet. And Ciampa right out of the gate is just looking to just punish Ricochet here. He knows what's at stake here. They all do. And another German suplex, but, you know, I think that Ricochet wants this more because he wants to redeem himself from what happened in that Battle Royale match where he came up short. And it's only right for him to win this one here as he tries to get the quick victory over Ciampa, but Ciampa kicks out at 1. Now lifting up Ciampa. Now, tried for a right hand punch there. Kick to the midsection. Ricochet pushes him away, though. Now into a suplex goes Ciampa. Suplex sends Ciampa to the floor as Ricochet climbs up top. Shooting star press on the Ciampa right out of the gate there. 1. Not even. Ricochet continuing to go after the back of Ciampa. And Ciampa, oh my, just drops Ricochet. And it appears that the crowd is not liking what they're seeing here, and a drop kick there. As Ciampa doing a little bit of taunting as Ricochet finds himself in a heap of trouble here on the apron. Ciampa is not letting him rest with a DDT right to Ricochet. But now Ricochet deciding to roll out. Again, these two have a count of 20, but a cutter out of nowhere. A cutter out of nowhere from Ricochet, but Ricochet's doing a little bit of too much taunting. Oh my, and his back gets shoved right into the apron there. Oh, but Ciampa looked for something there, and apparently Ricochet caught it. The outside's not going to forgive you here is, oh my, right on the back of the neck. Ciampa has had surgery on that neck. It's that surgically repaired neck. So he's going right after a weak spot here in Ciampa. A couple of punches right to the face as Ricochet gets back into the ring here. Ricochet knows exactly what he needs to do. He needs to keep this going. Elevated flatliner. I thought he might have been going for the recoil there, but no one. And Ciampa kicks out at 1. Just a 1 count there. Just a 1 count there. Looking for a DDT perhaps, but oh, Ciampa gets caught into a side Russian leg sweep. And now Ciampa doing a little bit of running away here. Ricochet looking to prove. Oh my God. Ciampa got caught with a cutter again. Ciampa got caught with a cutter again. I'm not sure what Ricochet was going for when Ciampa was on the apron, but a couple of ropes there. Moonsault from Ricochet right in the middle of the ring here. 1 count of 1 again. And going right after that back. Right after that back. Oh, what a knee strike there. That may have knocked Ricochet out cold, but a count of 1. Ciampa lifts up Ricochet. Ciampa lifting up Ricochet. Air raid siren onto Ricochet. But Ricochet somehow gets up. Using the ropes to get up though. And now Ciampa with the rope right to the throat of Ricochet. Right to the throat of Ricochet. Ciampa now plowing him over with a clothesline. And again plowing him over with the clothesline as both of these men get back into the ring. I am left speechless right now at what I am seeing here in this match. As both Ricochet and Ciampa really want this opportunity. But like I said, I think Ricochet really wants it more than Ciampa does. Considering the past when he couldn't come up with a victory in that Battle Royale match. And that takedown there from Ciampa. Ricochet in a huge roll to hurt right now, but Ricochet catches the foot. I thought Ciampa may be going for the fairy tale ending, but no. And now Ciampa looking to slow things down a bit with the working hold here onto Ricochet. Ricochet may be in a little bit of trouble here. But a couple of shots to the midsection breaks that hold. Elbow. Another elbow. Now looking to drop Ciampa on the back of his neck again. He dropped Ciampa on the back of his neck again. That has been a huge target for Ricochet. And an uppercut there to Ciampa. Irish whip into the ropes. Gets taken down. Oh, Ciampa though gets out of the way and another clothesline. Another clothesline just plows Ricochet over. And that is what this match has been. Oh my, as he just plants Ricochet. Oh, now looking for those German suplexes again. Another one. Another. And looking for the last trifecta again. And that is a German suplex again. And the back of Ricochet has to be broken now. My God. I'm surprised Ricochet's even still standing. Oh no. Ciampa. This can't be good from Ciampa here. Ciampa. No, 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 no! Superplex from the top rope goes Ricochet. And now if his back wasn't hurting now it is. Ciampa's looking for that knee! That knee strike! Right to Ricochet, 1, 2, and no! Ricochet with a kick out of 2, Ricochet! Still very much in this. As Ciampa's looking for the fairy tale ending. He's looking for the fairy tale ending, but Ricochet caught the foot. Ricochet caught the foot. Front face lock though. Ciampa's able to take him down. I thought Ricochet may have had enough time to go for the elevated flatliner or possibly the recoil, but Ciampa was able to get him down before he was able to connect with that move. But Ricochet though, powering out. Elbow. Recoil. 1, 2. Ciampa kicks out at 2. Ciampa kicks out of the recoil at 2. Ricochet knows what he needs to do now, though. He knows. He needs to go up for that 630 senton. That patented 630 senton on Ciampa to move on to the men's lottery case matchup 2. No, Ciampa kicked out. Ciampa kicked out, and Ciampa's still in it. But Ricochet again. Ricochet again looking to go up top. Another 630 senton. 1, 2, 3, and Ricochet, the one and only, claims the final spot in the men's lottery case matchup. What a redemption from Ricochet. What a redemption from Ricochet, the one and only, who came up short in the Battle Royale match a couple episodes ago, which would have guaranteed him a championship opportunity anyway. But at least now he is one step closer to a championship opportunity. Now, you know, this doesn't, unlike the Battle Royale, this doesn't guarantee him a championship opportunity. He still has to win the 6-man lottery case match. He still has to win that match. But nonetheless, I'm not going to take that victory away from him. As what a redemption. As Ricochet, the one and only, moves on as the final man in the 6-man lottery case matchup at RCW Recoil in New York City at Madison Square Garden. And that is the end of our show, folks. That was our main event. Thank you guys so much for attending today. I appreciate you guys. I apologize for showing up an hour late as I was having issues with my Elgato. Again, I apologize for the audio issues of the Elgato there in the beginning match. I didn't realize, because what I had to do was I had to delete it from my OBS, and then I had to re-add it again. So I had to delete it, re-add it, and then tone it down again, because once you delete a source, it gets rid of all the settings that you have of that said source. So anyways, thank you guys for joining me. In case you guys missed any of this stream, don't fret, it'll be in the VOD for a couple days as well. After 24 hours, it goes on my YouTube channel and my website, prowrestlingga.com. A few other things that I'd like to say before we hop off here. One of those things is, if you enjoyed the show, please consider joining my Discord, The Botchery. It is the best place to reach me off stream, as I am on Discord all the time. I have it on my phone, so that is the best way to reach me. Besides Twitter, I'm like a huge Twitter guy, so definitely you can reach me on there, but Discord is just easier. You can also check out my YouTube channel, like I had mentioned. My YouTube channel right there. It has all my wrestling content, including every episode of RCW in its respected playlist, seasons 1 through 7. New episodes go live on the YouTube channel a day after they air. So in this case, this episode will be going up tomorrow. Because I don't stream tomorrow. I only stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. So any day that I don't stream, what you can expect is more YouTube content. You can still expect YouTube content on the YouTube side of things on the days that I don't stream. I try to record as many videos as I can ahead of time, so that I can just have videos edited and ready in my folder, ready to be done. So that's that there. And also on my website, prowrestlingga.com, you can look at my blogs. I haven't done one in a while. I'm sorry. I have to do one. As well as my Angle podcast, which is a wrestling podcast where I talk wrestling with wrestling fans. It's a wrestling podcast by wrestling fans for wrestling fans. Definitely consider checking that out, as we spend about an hour and 30 minutes to 2 hours, give or take, talking about different topics surrounding the world of professional wrestling, where we answer your questions and just have a lot of fun and talk about wrestling. And we'd like to have those civil discussions about wrestling, because I feel like, based on how toxic the wrestling fan base is, it's almost impossible to have civil discussions about wrestling, and it's really pathetic in my opinion. But luckily, when you got a good group of friends that are as passionate about wrestling as you are, it's a lot easier to have those discussions. And speaking of which, here is our Twitter for the Angle Podcast. We made a Twitter for the Angle Podcast, and when you guys can send us your questions or possibly send us your suggestions for podcast topics. Anything that surrounds the wrestling world, anything that is wrestling related that you think would just make a good discussion, please feel free to just tweet us there. Or there's a podcast channel in the Discord. There's a podcast text channel in the Discord, and you guys can leave your stuff there. All you have to do to join the Discord is just have an email and password. Pretty much almost everybody does nowadays. Create an account there and join the Discord server by just clicking that link. If I'm off stream, the link is down in the panels, so you can click there. Or if for some reason that it's not, you can just message me however you need to, and I can just whisper it to you or whatever. So definitely consider checking those out. Also, like I said, you can purchase our merch. Some exclusive Botch TV merch, as well as some exclusive RCW merch there at teespring.com/store/RCW store. Again, a portion of that money goes to me. And basically what you get out of it is you directly support the stream and you get a badass t-shirt. And I get, some money to make the stream better by getting better equipment. I just got a Logitech Brio that I'll be using for the podcast, and I plan on getting other things too as well. So it really helps out, and plus it's just a lot of fun to just have a really dope t-shirt in your closet. There's nothing like having a really dope, cool t-shirt that you like showing off to your friends. So definitely consider that. And like I said, in case you missed any of this stream, this goes into a VOD afterwards, and this goes on my YouTube a day after it airs. So in case you just haven't watched the VOD for whatever reason, it'll go on my YouTube afterwards. Also, it's another thing that I like to do called feedback sessions, where after some RCW streams, I go into my Discord after stream, like a little bit after stream, and I basically talk to you guys. Basically what happens there is you guys can give your thoughts on the show that you had just seen, or give your thoughts on the season so far, or thoughts on just the show overall. Like, do you like the show? Is there a particular thing you like seeing? Like, is there match types that you want to see more of? Different things like that. If that's possible, then that's what I like to do. I like to get your guys' feedback, because that's how we make the show better. That is how this show was essentially started and founded. It started as something that I thought would be fun to do, and then I was like, do I really want to do this? And some of you really liked it. And as the show progressed and as we've gone through seasons, you guys have expressed your love for it. So as long as that keeps happening, I don't intend to stop making the show. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for joining me today. Tomorrow, some YouTube content will be coming at you. So definitely keep an eye out for that. Thursday, we'll have another episode of RCW now that we have the qualifiers done. We'll be able to focus more on some of the rivalries that are going on, some of the other things that are going on here in RCW. So definitely check those out, and I will catch you guys on another stream, which should be on Thursday. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys later. Love each other, be nice to one another, and I will catch you guys soon.